Well, I'm here to talk about what ended my law career back in 1984 and to tell you and to show you the smoking gun. I was a practicing lawyer from 1974 to 1981 when I decided that I would retire from my law practice and become a crusader to help the little guy, and that's when I founded the Canadian Farmers Survival Association up near Owen Sound in Ontario. Well, the fight was to help these farmers keep their homes, keep their farms that they've been on for generations, and the small businessman that was battling with 21% interest rates. Some of you seniors will remember those days. Well, I wasn't prepared to let my clients and my fellow Canadians lose everything that they had worked all their lives for. I set up the Canadian Farmers Survival Association, and I hitchhiked across Canada, public speaking twice, saving farm after farm after farm, whether it was in Ontario, whether it was in Saskatchewan or Alberta or British Columbia. I was threatened, my family were threatened, but I kept going. 1981, 82, 83, and 84. When my wife and my children were threatened, my wife said, "John, stop this, or we're going to get hurt." And I did. In the spring, or the May of 1984, I went back into my law practice, paid my errors and omissions insurance, and started to practice law. However, I wasn't as honest with my wife as I should have been, because there was an election going on. And I decided I had to use this election to talk about the banks and the interests that they were charging Canadians. So I worked as the chairman of a campaign, and across the region of York, I stood there as the spirit of Canada, trying to lift people's awareness into what was happening. Unfortunately, the Conservatives got in, and everything I was saying went out the door. 6 days after the election, when I wasn't in the public's eye, I had two members of the Discipline Committee of the Law Society of Upper Canada come into my office in Newmarket, Ontario, where I grew up and well known, and they said, "You've been having complaints about you. You got to stop practicing law. We're going to disbar you." I said, "Take your best shots, boys, because I'm not going to walk away. I've done nothing wrong." So, as it turned out, after a 5-day hearing over a 2-year period where I was not working because they made me undertake not to practice, I could not find a lawyer to represent me. Nobody wanted to be tarred with my brush. They came in 1987. I was 87. I was not even in the country. Arthur Scace was the chairman of the board of the Bank of Nova Scotia, but he was also the treasurer of the Law Society of Upper Canada. The sitting committee of the Discipline Committee knew I was right. They did not make the decision. They passed it to the 40 benchers. And this man, a banker, signed this order disbarring me from my vocation that I had worked for all my life. I am very upset, but the story gets better. Wait till you see my next clip when I tell you where we are today.